You ready, Thea? Let's do it. Hey, you right, guys, Trey from Joey, and today we're doing something a tiny bit different, just a tiny bit. There's 13 episodes of Black Mirror altogether, including seasons 1, 2, 3, and the Christmas special, and I thought it'd be a good idea to I was just going to do season 3, but I thought I'd do the whole show of ranking my least favourite, actually I should go from here, least favourite to my favourite. I think it's pretty safe to say that season 3 was such a strong season. Having 6 episodes really did help it, and someone did comment, I think yesterday, telling me that they do have another 6 episodes planned already, so season 4 could be coming quicker than I initially thought, but season 3 was amazing. And yeah, someone also commented saying you should rank the episode season 3, but I thought it'd just be a good idea to throw in season 1. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I thought it'd be a good idea to rank as well as season 3, 1 and 2, and the Christmas special. Keep in mind, this is my opinion. These are what I consider to be the lowest rated Black Mirror episodes to my favourites. Obviously, all of you are going to have like different rankings with each episode. Maybe the odd one out there might have the exact same list as me, which would be insane. If you want to get involved, you can rank all 13 below if you want, or just do your top 3 if you want to. That's kind of easy. I think ranking all 13 might take a bit of time and a bit of thinking, because I was some of these episodes I haven't seen in like a couple of years. So yeah, some of these episodes I haven't seen in a while. Some I've only seen once, most I've seen twice. Apart from season 3, I've only seen a couple of those twice, not all of them yet. So yeah, without further ado, let's do this. Right, number 13, keep in mind I love every episode of Black Mirror. There is only one I genuinely just did not like, and that is this one. So even if like your favourite episode is like, let's say, number 10 out of the 13, I did still love the episode. Because there is only one Black Mirror episode that I genuinely just did not like, and it was the Waldo moment. Season 2, episode 3, I believe it was. Oh my god, this episode, I could not stand it. If you've seen the episode, you probably know. So I think it is actually the lowest rated episode of Black Mirror as well. I can see why. It's about this little blue CGI character that kind of comes to take over the world or some shit. The CGI character idea, I didn't really enjoy. Every time he was on screen, couldn't really stand it. And I know it was voiced by the main character kind of thing. I'm picking ideas from the episode because I've only seen it once because I did not like it. Yeah, I'm reading it here. It kind of says that I remember that they tried to make Waldo into like some politician or some shit, and this comedian guy's kind of voicing him, and then it all just kind of goes hill. Like every Black Mirror episode besides one. We know which one that is. When I do talk about these episodes, they're not going to be reviews, so I'm not going to kind of like spoil the endings of each episode just in case you haven't seen them. But the ending with this, I was just like, I don't really care. I'm never watching that again. So the Waldo moment is my least favourite. Didn't even enjoy it. So that is number 13. At number 12, we have season 2, episode 1, titled Be Right Back. I know a lot of people really loved this episode. I liked it. Had great acting in. I liked the concept of it, of kind of how to deal with death. So yeah, to do with this couple, Martha and Ash. Ash ends up dying, I think, in like the first 10 minutes or something like that. And it's to do with this kind of new devices. There's a lot of devices in Black Mirror, but it kind of forms this profile image, this new character kind of designed around. It's not actually Ash, like it's not really his personality, it's not him in there, but they kind of create this, I want to say hologram, even though he's like physically there, of Ash, and it's kind of her coming to terms with, could this actually be her boyfriend? Could it actually be Ash? The thing I did like about this episode is how it kind of went into Ash's, like they went into his profiles, like his Facebook, or for example, I don't actually know, but say it went into his Facebook, his Twitter, and just downloaded all his interests, so it kind of was as close to Ash as anyone could be, or anything could be. There's a lot of my main issue with some Black Mirror episodes is that I really like the kind of idea behind it, but the actual plot going ahead doesn't grip me as much as I kind of hoped it would. This is probably one of those where the story itself didn't grip me as much as others. At number 11, we have one that we watched recently, but season 3, episode 5, Men Against Fire. Again, a concept I really did like. These group of people that everyone's come to kind of hate for no reason, and these kind of soldiers are just kind of sent out to go and kill them for no reason, because they're not even doing anything wrong really, but they're sent out to do that. I again loved the concept of it. Didn't like any of the characters. The violence in it was pretty cool. Again, I think the thing with this episode is it's like, I think it starts off really strong, like the first 10 minutes are really good, and then there's just a slow patch for about 20-25 minutes when nothing really happens. picks up again for about 5 minutes, dips down again when nothing happens, and then the ending's kind of cool. But there was just too many of these kind of slow patches for me to get really into it. I didn't care much for the characters, like I say, but I like the direction of it. I like the kind of how every Black Mirror episode looks fantastic, but this probably looked like one of the best looking ones. But again, it just didn't do it for me, but I did like the concept, so that's why it's kind of better than the other two. Especially the Waldo moment. At number 10, we have another one from Season 3, which is Season 3, Episode 1, titled Nosedive. I remember watching this episode when Season 3 first started, did the reaction to it, and I was like, that was such an amazing episode, oh my god, because I hadn't seen Black Mirror in a couple of years, so I forgot how like original these stories can kind of be. But looking back at it now, it is definitely one of the more weaker ones of Season 3, and actually one of the more weaker ones of the entire show for me. I think, again, the ending of this wasn't great. The ending was kind of not as satisfying as I wanted it to be. A little bit predictable. But again, I really love the concept of kind of like people kind of do in their daily lives of just ranking certain people, certain profiles and stuff like that. I love how everybody in the world had like their own little ranking out of 5 or something like that, and you can get downgraded depending on how a certain conversation went. I love that idea. I thought Dallas, what's her name? Dallas Howard, yeah, something like that. She did an amazing job as this character. She has some really good scenes. Like I said, I didn't find the ending that good and a little bit predictable, but still a great episode. At number 9, we have Season 2, Episode 2, titled White Bear. I have only seen this episode once, and it was like 3 years ago, so I'm not too... I remember loving this episode. It was the first episode I watched with my sister. It's not the first episode I watched, first episode she watched, and she loved this episode. I think the ending, which I'm not going to spoil, was fantastic, like probably one of the best actual endings of a Black Mirror episode. I remember loving the kind of world that I was kind of set in. Yes, it's kind of this woman named Victoria, it says here. She kind of wakes up, she can't remember anything, and everyone she encounters just kind of holds their phone up or whatever and just kind of records her. Never really communicates with her, and that's all they're kind of doing. If you've seen the ending, you know why they're kind of doing that, and I'm not going to spoil it just in case, but the ending to this was fantastic. I certainly love the ending to this one. I'd say I loved there's some intense scenes in this, because there's also, it says, the people called the Hunters who kind of try and hunt her down, hunt people like her down. So it had some great scenes in it, and definitely one of the best of the show. I think that's every episode from Season 2, so technically I'd say Season 2 is my weakest season, if that kind of makes sense, yeah, because that's all 3 of those. At number 8, we have Season 3, Episode 6, my most recently watched episode, the finale of Season 3. I think my biggest problem with this episode is the ending. Didn't feel satisfying, didn't feel like it resolved really anything in particular. Again, it had a great scene. This is the one where obviously I literally uploaded the reaction like I think yesterday, where the bees, or these mechanical bees, kind of get controlled to kind of assassinate, I say, people that use the hashtag death2 and then put up a picture of someone they want to be killed. Whoever gets the most votes, these bees are kind of sent out to kind of kill them. An hour and a half special, which I think it needed to be. Again, I just didn't think the ending just kind of, I'm looking back and it just kind of didn't make it worth it in the end. I don't know, it didn't feel satisfying to me. Didn't really like the main character, but I did like a kind of the side FBI agent. She was cool, she did a good job, but again, there wasn't like a character that stood out. I was like, oh, they're such a great character. So yeah, but I did like the scenes where the bees are actually in it. I kind of picked up straight away that it was the bees killing people, but some of that I mentioned in the reaction that I really did like is how these FBI agents, they're not stupid. They're not like, oh my god, if they were stupid and we kind of picked up on all this stuff before they did, that would have been so frustrating. But I'm glad, one of the biggest pros I can give with this episode is they just got it out of the way that they knew it was the bees doing this. So yeah, I didn't find the actual killer guy that interesting, but I don't think they were going for that. So yeah, it was a good episode. I just don't think the ending was that great. At number 7, we have Season 1, Episode 3, titled The Entire History of You. This was the second episode I watched personally. I read somewhere that Robert Downey Jr. actually wanted to kind of direct a film based around just this episode alone, because the concept of it's so good that everything you see, everything you do is logged into your memory. And you can kind of say you're at home doing nothing, you can actually rewatch your entire day, or rewatch any day that's happened in your entire life through. You kind of have like some little projection going at your eye. I don't know. And like, while that all sounds great in concept, obviously we know Black Mirror always ends badly. And this main character kind of starts to realise that something's not quite right with something that's going on with his kind of friends. and girlfriend. Yeah. I think looking back at it, it's like one of the more kind of more simple stories. That it's like just the actual story itself isn't that in depth. It's not that creative, but because of this idea that they can see everything they've done, it makes this simple story so much more interesting. At number 6, we have season 3, episode 4, which I'm pretty sure is going to be most people's favorite episode, which is San Junipero. I'm pretty sure the only episode in Black Mirror history that is kind of happy, relaxing. You don't have to think too much about, even though I was for like the first 20 minutes. These two characters are fantastic. Probably, if I was ranking Black Mirror based on its characters, this would probably be in the top 3. These two characters they just work so well together. I love the world they're kind of setting in San Junipero. I was so confused for like the first half an hour. I haven't had a chance to rewatch this episode yet, but I think rewatching it is something that a lot of people have already done already, and I think it's one that you need to do. Because like I say, I think I spent like the first half of it just kind of confused, not really get like all these little side things. It didn't really make sense until halfway through, which I did. I like. That's not a bad thing. I think it's Yorkie and Kelly, the name, something like that. Those two just adorable. I can't really go into the actual story of this episode without giving it away, but just so well thought out and just a happy ending for once, which I think we needed. Which I think it was just after the halfway point of season 3, which had just come off one of the more darker episodes of the entire show for me. So yeah, it was well needed, and I hope Black Mirror kind of at least one every season, maybe stick to having a happier toned episode. I think that would do a really good job. It's just having like 6 really dark themes, which I know is the point of Black Mirror, but I don't know, it's just nice to have a kind of different episodes of San Junipero. And number 5, we have season 3, episode 2, titled Playtest. Again, one of the more I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself here, but another kind of simple story that's just kind of made so much better by its actual ending. This is another one that had a really good, satisfying ending, and the tones throughout. This is a kind of guy who's trapped in, I think, London, somewhere like that. He's got no money, so he finds this ad to go and try a new VR headset, which is kind of fitting to say how many VR headsets are coming out this year. And things kind of get a little crazy when he starts putting this VR headset on, and he's put into this horror-themed world. He's basically placed into this dark mansion where all horrors are going to occur throughout the night, and then obviously shit gets really weird really quick. I think he doesn't actually even get to the mansion until about 25 or 30 minutes into the actual episode. So like I said, those final 30 minutes are just crazy, but the thing I liked about the first 30 minutes is it made him such an interesting character. He's probably one of the more well-developed characters in this season, at least, because that's the hard thing with having, I think, 60 minutes dedicated to just one episode, one character. You've got to make this character interesting in the first 5 or 10 minutes, or you don't stand a chance for the rest of the episode, which is why I found the problem with episode 5, Men Against Fire. I didn't care about the character. So yeah, they did a really good job of making him relevant, and I actually liked his character. At the same time, like season 3, episode 4, San Junipero, that's a bad thing because you never get to see these characters again, which is kind of sad when you think about it. Like, once they're done with their 60 minutes, they're gone into existence, never to be seen again. I think my only critique with this episode is when I was watching, I was obviously there all shitting myself. Some people have given me comments like, why are you shitting yourself? It's not even scary. I think this episode could have been a lot scarier. Like, it could have had I'm all up for jump scares if they're needed. I just think it had like one jump scare and it had a lot of kind of building up something that was going to happen, and then nothing really happened. That's just kind of nitpicking. It didn't really bring down the episode for me, but I don't know, that could have made it a bit that much better. At number 4, we have season 1, episode 2, which is titled 15 Million Merit. I know a lot of people are going to disagree. Can I even speak today? Disagree with this one. I think it's actually even one of the lower rated ones for some reason, because I actually love the idea behind this episode. It's basically you have to go, people go into this kind of virtual gym or something like that. They have to work all day to earn merits, and you can spend these merits on certain things. And they all have their, like, the rooms. I haven't seen this in a long time, so I'm just picking up my memory here, but they have these kind of secluded rooms, and in these rooms they can spend their merits on whatever they want. And it's about this girl who wants to be a singer, it's kind of like an X Factor audition, but to audition in this singing competition or contest, you have to get to 15 million merits to actually sign up, basically, to even have a chance of being in this competition. Again, what this episode did so well for me was the main two characters. Loved them pretty much straight away as soon as they were on screen. Did a great job, those two. And looking back now, this is probably one of the more well-designed worlds that have been, like, I could do with another episode just designed around earning these merits and what people spend them on and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe not, because they'll just probably spend it on, like, chicken and shit, which would be kind of boring. But yeah, I don't know, love the characters. The ending, again, dark as fuck, which I think a lot of people had a problem with this episode, was the actual ending, because they felt like the whole kind of build up to it was kind of pointless in the end, and it wasn't a happy ending. But I think looking back, is there ever a Black Mirror episode that's happy? But because it was one of the first episodes that aired, people weren't kind of used to having a dark themed ending, but I thought it was I loved it. I loved the ending. At number 3, we have season 1, episode 1, the first ever episode I watched, obviously. So, fun fact, I actually watched this in college. Probably one of the most awkward things I've ever done, witnessed, experienced. Yeah. This is about the Prime Minister of London, of England, of course. And he sent a threat that the princess has been kidnapped and she will be killed or something like that unless he goes on live television and fucks a pig. First time watching this, obviously it was awkward because I was in college, but I was engaged. It's like in the first 2 minutes I was like, what is this? I need to see more. Like usual, the last 15 minutes of this episode are absolutely insane. You're there. Okay, I'm gonna get a bit spoilery here, so if you haven't seen the pilot episode, maybe just skip ahead like 30 seconds or something. But the whole time you are thinking, how's he gonna get out of this situation? Oh, they could do this, or they could do this and stuff like that. And even the characters are like, oh, if we do this, then he's gonna be sick, he's not gonna have to fuck a pig in it. The whole time you're thinking that, and there's just no way out for him. So at the end, he does end up, yeah, doing that. Yeah, the first episode I ever watched, and it's still in the top 3. Absolutely fantastic. I loved it. At number 2, we have my favourite episode of season 3. Season 3, episode 3, Shut Up and Dance. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that as well, because some people found this episode extremely boring. I loved it. I honestly just loved this episode. Usually you rewatch some episodes, like I said, with like San Junipero, and you're watching it going, oh, I did pick up on that, that's kind of cool. This is one of those where you rewatch the episode and the first like 10 minutes you are just creeped out. I'm spoiling this episode as well. Sorry about that. But when the bit, oh my god, the bit where he's at work and he kind of picks the toy up for the little girl and hands it to her, I remember doing the reaction for that. I was like, oh, bless him, that's kind of, he seems like a nice guy. Oh, Jesus. Little did we know little 19-year-old Kenny was watching child porn. I think what I loved about this episode is it starts off so like simple and it just gets worse and worse and worse, and like by the end you are like, there's no way this could be any worse. It would be better if he died. Like honestly, his life would be better if he just died. Goes from him stealing, so he's already broken the law there. Moves on to everyone knowing that he basically watched child porn, so that's, you know, fun. And then to top it all off, he's just murdered someone. He could not get, and it could, like, you're watching and you just feel so bad for Kenny the whole episode, and then literally the last probably 30 seconds, you're just like, wow, this just put everything into perspective of how much of a little shit Kenny actually is. I think his name Hector as well, Bronn from Game of Thrones, absolutely fantastic in this episode. Loved his character. And the ending again, just with the troll face plastered around every scene. Oh my god, such a well thought out episode. And I think both actors did a fantastic job. Probably two of the best actors in a Black Mirror episode that I've seen personally. Like I say, people are going to disagree because they find this episode boring. I found it to just start pretty simple, and then the suspense just got bigger and bigger throughout the entire thing. My favourite episode of season 3, my second favourite of the entire show. Loved it. And my favourite episode of Black Mirror, Shut Up and Dance, was very close, but the Christmas special titled White Christmas. I know a lot of people have commented saying, oh, you should react to the Christmas special. I have already seen it. I watched it when it aired. And fell in love with it the first time I watched it. I honestly loved this episode. I'm looking at it now. It has some of the better actors in it. It has John Hamm, and it has the woman from Game of Thrones, Robb Stark's wife. So one of the coolest things of this is when you're able to block someone in real life and it just blurs out their entire face, their body, you can't see what they're even doing. So you're not just blocking them on like Twitter and stuff like that. You can literally block them in real life. It doesn't kill them, it doesn't do anything like that. You just can't even physically see them. Found that that's like the smallest detail in this episode, but I don't know, I've always loved that little concept that they could just block someone in real life. I found that really funny. The thing that made this episode for me, I've gone on about this entire video, but the ending kind of makes some episodes, some endings really don't. The ending to this blows my fucking mind. It honestly does. I'm not going to spoil it, but you feel so bad for this guy. The main guy in this, it's not John Hamm. I don't actually know the actor's name, but the main character in this, you genuinely feel awful for this guy, and you don't know why he's kind of getting so much shit throughout the entire episode. Like, he's literally, these people hate him, they're blocking him out in their real lives, and it just can't get any worse for this guy. And then you find out kind of why he's hated, I guess. And it's so hard kind of being around the bush of this episode, because not a lot of people have seen the Christmas special, because it kind of just kind of popped up dead randomly. Like, I didn't even know it was airing until the day it was airing. So if you haven't seen the Christmas special, I implore you to go and watch it, because the actual end, I think it's like 2 hours. Is it 2 hours or something? It might be 2 hours or an hour and a half. And what happens to this main guy, by the end you're like, does he deserve that? Because the whole time you're like, he doesn't deserve what's happening to him, and then at the end you're kind of questioning yourself, like, maybe he did. I don't know. Even thinking about it now, I want to go back and rewatch this. It aired December the 16th, 2014, so it's almost been 2 years since I aired, but I honestly fell in love with this episode. And you will too if you watch it, hopefully. Obviously, it's not going to be everyone's favourite episode, but for me, it's the one I could rewatch the most, and the one I get most enjoyment out of the kind of ending and how satisfying everything kind of is at the end. Like I say, guys, I apologise. I'm not like a professional reviewer. It's very rare I just kind of speak to a camera, so I'm not great at it. But I thought it would be very different and kind of fun idea ranking all Black Mirror episodes. Obviously, like I said a million times, you're not going to agree with my list most likely. But that's just my personal opinion. At the same time, I'd be interested to kind of know what your top 3 episodes are. Like, if someone says my favourite episode of all time is the Waldo moment, I'd be like, okay, props to you, go for it, mate. I'm not going to stop you. So there we go, people. Someone asked I do this. Obviously, I expanded it more to the other seasons. So I hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new, because we are almost at 10,000 subscribers. We just surpassed 9,500, I think, yesterday. So thank you for that. That's all Black Mirror kind of related episodes done until I will 100% be doing season 4 when that comes out. If that comes out like soon as well, if they've already planned 6 episodes for season 4, hopefully you'll see me back with Black Mirror episodes sooner than we would have thought. I'm going to watch this Christmas special now. This Christmas, probably. Love it. Right, thanks for watching there, guys. Peace.